Hey guys, it's Barbara and Cindy here, and we are so excited to bring you this stamp class in the mail. And this month of October, we are using the Happy Holidays bundle. Of course, the light's not gonna, I'll show it to you later. Anyways, we've got some great ideas, don't we? We are so excited to share this with you.
It's not just cards.
And it's a punch, guys. It is a punch. So this is for people who love punches or possibly don't have die cutting machines. And this will be just up your alley. People who birds, they're not all bird cards, but the stamp set has a gorgeous bird in it. And I think we did all Christmas stuff, didn't we?
Yes.
Although the bird can be used for anything.
Exactly.
And I have a couple ideas. I did a video live where I did, let's see, a Christmas and a non-Christmas card. And I'll just show those when we flip the camera to the other screen. So Barbara and I are going to tag team, and we're going to videotape these projects for you. And I hope that you enjoy your stamping. There'll be some coloring. There'll be some non-coloring. For those of you that don't love coloring, lots and lots of things to share, don't we?
Goodies.
We're excited. All right, so let me flip over to the other camera and I will show you. Whoops, it didn't work. Okay, so this is the stamps that I was trying to show you, but the light wouldn't let me. It's just so pretty. The greetings are a really nice font, and it's just a lot of fun to work with. And of course the punch that it doesn't coordinate with, it coordinates with it. It doesn't match anything. Like it's a great border punch. Right. It doesn't punch out this holly. So a little bit of hand cutting here, but it's not too difficult. So, okay. So let me just mention, these are the projects that you will be getting, that you have in your kit. And there are 5 of them. Okay. Plus we're going to have a bonus 2 videos. I'm going to pop on the video that shows these 2 cards at the end here, or maybe I'll do it just in a separate link for you. I might just do that separate so this doesn't get too long. I will pop this video in for you as well, and then at the very end we'll show you how to do this beautiful piece of, it can be a piece of jewelry, it can be a pin, it can be just an embellishment, but it's some layered paper and really fun to do. So, so let me get started with the first project. Barbara's going to go first, so she's going to pop in here with her things, and we'll be right back.
All right, let's begin with this card. Merry Christmas to you. And I'm sorry, I cannot tell you offhand which I wanted to check, which stamp set that comes from, and I forgot. So I'm sure it's something that wouldn't be too hard to find. All right, we're going to begin with our soft succulent card base, and we're going to stamp the leaf on it. Let me grab my scratch, which I forgot about. And we're going to stamp that around the edge. Like so. Since the middle will be covered, I don't think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me get rid of my ink pad. Okay, so now on to the next. I don't think I'll need my scratch right now. Okay, so we have bits and pieces here. So what we're going to do is put that on like that, and then this piece will fit right in here with the sentiment on. But first I'm going to die cut this, or not die cut, punch this, And I'm just going to put it right in here and line it up like so. And there. Perfect. All right. Now I think I'm going to go ahead and do my embossing next. Actually, I think I do not have my Versamark here. Bummer, I forgot that. So I will pause. Okay, I'm sorry about that. As you can see, I'm not quite as organized as I would like to be. Okay, so back to stamping. And put the looks pretty good, maybe a little bit there. And zap it. And put this lid on here, set this away. There, we're starting the magic. Isn't that so pretty? All right. Just what a little bit of embossing does. Isn't that so neat? All right, so now I think for this one, we're pretty much ready to put it together. So I'm going to start with some glue. Ooh, that came out pretty fast. It doesn't smear out too bad. This will go on to this, position it. This goes on to, oh yes, I have the green piece, which is going to go underneath here first. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here to hold that in place so that the green shines through. I don't believe my piece is quite big enough. Well, that's not going to work. Okay, we will do another pause and go get a bigger piece of. All right, I think I got my piece now that it fits. I'm so sorry about that. Thank you for bearing with me. All right, and this will go right in here in the middle. Isn't that neat? That fits right in the center of that. Then we will pop this onto our soft succulent piece. I should really get these centered a little better, shouldn't I? If I'm going to go for across. Maybe 2 in the center. Ooh, lots of dimensionals there. So we'll pull off the backings. And this card really is not that hard. And it's just some parts and pieces that goes together very quickly. Goes on to the center. We have a ribbon, and I did do that one ahead of time. So we will put that on with a glue dot. And actually, before I do put that on, I think I will cut out, take a scrap, and punch out some of these berries. And then I will just put a little bit of dab of glue on each of these holes. And then use these pieces for that. Where's my pick tool? Oh, that's not going to work. Little bit. This one's a little bigger, so we will put that in the middle of that. I'm having trouble getting them to stay. All right, 2 more there, and then the other one's there. Okay. This will be 1 more punch. With the berries. And separate the scraps from the berries. There we go. So now we should be able to put the rest of these on. That's just, yeah, it just makes it look so nice to put those berries in. I think what I'll do is just stick these down here and then kind of take the pokey tool part and push them into the holes a little better. Look at that. Just like that. If I can do that with my, I always said I have bigger hands. If I can do that, you can too. And do I still have my, yeah, we're ready to put this on. I think I'll trim it a little. No, it doesn't want to stick. Okay, let's try again. Get a glue dot. You know what? There we go. Maybe I'll just position that up a little bit. And my ends want to go everywhere, so let's give them a trim. There. There's that one and the original. Now, I really think on the original we did Versamark probably. This is tone on tone, so you can take your pick. It is pretty both ways, and there's a really nice Christmas card. Okay, clean up here a little, and on to my next one. All right. And it's the box. Isn't that neat? That box is so cute with that bird on. So let me get my parts and pieces here. Wow, this looks like a, okay, these pieces, these 3 gold pieces and this stamp are from the Merriest Moments stamp set. And I know, it looks like I have a great mess here, doesn't it? How can I keep it all straight? I'm going to try. It's not going to be easy, but I will try, which I think I can do. All right, here's the bottom of our box, which is basically just to, actually it's the inside. It's a side that slides in. You'll see in a minute. And I will separate this. I don't need right now either. And this I'll need for this, and this I'll need for this. Okay. Ha. Looks like we're getting somewhere. Okay, so now to put the box together, we're just going to start doing some folding, and some folding this way and this way. So I want to bring my side flaps like that, and then I want to put this down like this. Okay, and then we'll do the other side the same. Now, why don't you want to stay down? You're going to have to stay there till I get... Okay, we'll try this. There. Now, this goes down inside like that. You see what I'm doing? It's probably hard to see, but this gets pushed in. It's a very sturdy box. Look at that. Yeah. All right, and then these two pieces are going to go on this side because this is going to be put together as such. So I'm going to go ahead and glue them on each side. Whoops, be sure I don't get it on the wrong end. Okay, look at that. Perfect. The other end. And we will put our box aside for now because that is, let that dry, wants to slide. That's a nice thing about green glue. Okay, now we will start on our top. So this is going to go on as the base. So I can probably go ahead and put that on. And then we're going to put this at the bottom of the white. But first I'm going to stamp this in soft succulent. Actually, I probably should put my scrap underneath here in case I would. So I'm going to just kind of do it like that. Okay, that's the stamping we have, and then this will be glued on the bottom. This is that gorgeous cork paper. I sound like I'm hesitant. This will go right here, and I will have to trim that a little bit. Give that a trim. Okay. All right, so now we're ready to put on our greenery, or our gold, along with our greenery. So we're just going to fasten that. And our bird's going to be popped up on top, but I think we need to do our ribbon first. So we'll go ahead and kind of fill in this space, and this one will kind of bring down this way. Okay, that one looks like that's on top also. So maybe I will wait with that one and put some dimensionals on the bird a while. Maybe this will work better. And we'll go ahead and glue this to the top of the box because I want to put my ribbon around, put it together and put my ribbon around, and then actually I could probably go ahead and finish this because I can just put the ribbon underneath. If I get the bird here, that, yeah, the ribbon can go underneath the bird's feet. And this can just slide up underneath there. And then that won't. Okay, so now, oh, maybe I should do this too before I put my box together. Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll stick the box together and then finish it with the ribbon and a little bit of gold bling. And here again, this box is a very sturdy, cute little box for gift giving. Just, you can put a nice amount in that. Ta-da! My ribbon. which you all like to watch me do ribbon. Haha. Let's get you out on top here. I might have to redo that one. Let's get the ribbon on. I usually get them a little lopsided, which I believe I did this one, so we'll see. See if I can make it work. I think I'm going to have to redo that. Anyway, you aren't going to want to watch me struggle with that. So let's put you back there for now. Let's try this again. And if I can't get it, yeah, if I can't get it tied and it sits on my lap, I don't think I can get it tied there. Okay. Let's try this again. Which it still is not. Yeah, it's still not right. I'm sorry. Anyway, I will finish it and get this. Let me stick this guy in here. And then I'll show you the gold dots. And I promise I will tie the ribbon the way it should be. So we're going to use the punch again. And we're going to punch this out of this gold glitter paper. And we're going to put these on. So what we'll do is put a little dab of glue. A little dab. Wherever we want our dots. And what did I do with my, take your pick tool. And then we will just put them, I got something else on there. Okay. Now it's going to stick to my finger. Let's go like this. I think I have a bit too much glue. So you can use the punch for other things. The very, well, I'm not doing too good here, ladies. You see me in the pure and simple, the way it goes. This is just too much like real life, isn't it? Well, I think I have a little bit. My fingers are now gluey, so this does not help. Anyway, you get the point, what I'm doing. And it's making you nervous having to watch me re-glue and redo. So I will find the rest of my glue here, and no, that's not what I want. My dots, there's another one. My fingers are so sticky now, I probably won't do too good. All right, that one went pretty good. Let's do a few more and finish filling in. Okay, let's see if we can get that to pop up. And where else did I do my glue? Right there. And right there. Okay. Then to give it a final, just like pearl look, you can always do your, let's see, we have it right here. Your Shimmer Effects. Put a little Shimmer Effects. I want to clean up some of the extra glue first. But you can always do that. And it just, I don't know, it just adds something very special to it. And do you want to watch me do this one more time? And get it right? or 2 more times and get it right. Anyway, I think I'm getting there. Ta-da! There is the box, the original and the second one. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'm going to let Cindy come on and she's going to do some more. Thanks for watching me.
Okay, it's Cindy. It's my turn. This is the first card that I'm going to show you how to do. And this is using our golden rose gold shimmer paper. So beautiful. I think you saw that with Barbara had used some of it on her cards. So I am using a piece of designer paper from our Tidings of Peace, which is in your packet. And I didn't want it to be so white. So I'm going to show you what I did to change that. And let me grab my scrap paper back here. I thought I didn't need it, but I do. So I pulled out our handy dandy retired brayer with the sponge attachment. And if you don't have that, you can just sponge some color on. But I'm using soft succulent. The blending brushes would work good for this. I just wanted something quick, and so I just inked this up, and you can see how quickly it loads the color on there. Get these edges good. Okay, so that's how quick that is, and I miss that guy. Maybe just a little bit more color. You can never have too much color, right? I don't want to lose my design completely, which I'm about to do there. Okay. All right, I think I'm finished with that color. All right, the next thing that I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my Noel here. And I'm using Real Red. These colors are Soft Succulent, Real Red, and a little bit of Evening Evergreen. And they just look beautiful together with that gold. Isn't that a beautiful stamp? Love it. All right, so finished with that. Just put that aside. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this border. And there's an extra, the extra video that will be, that I will send with you, shows how I use that border to create the complete edge on this card. I'm not going to show that right here, even though I'm going to include the supplies to make that card, just as an extra little perk for you guys. Okay, so when you use this punch, the best way that I know how to do it is to line it up with these little silver lines right here. You can just barely see them. You could start on this side or this side, depending whether you're right or left-handed. And because this paper is not deep enough, I'm just going to try to carefully slide it completely straight down from that line. And you can even look back here to make sure that you are away from the edge. And I'm pushing it completely back into the back of the punch, which is here, and give it a punch. And then you'll just scoot this out, and I want you to watch the design as it disappears. Okay, you see everything looks irregular in these holes, and I'm just looking in the video and watching this, and voila, as soon as I get there, the design is completely solid. Okay, so it didn't really disappear, but the mess disappeared, and now I just see silver in there. That means I'm completely lined up and I can punch again. And that's it. That is all we need. But guess what? Check out all these wonderful pieces. We've got all these little holly leaves. So I did this, and then I was just creating all these cards with this stuff because there were so many cool things. And the box that she showed you, I used I think she showed you that. I used all these little pieces to pop on there, and then just put some crystal effects on top of that, some of our shimmer crystal effects. And it made little embellishments. Okay, so now we're just ready to put this together. It's going to be a really, really easy card. Oh, I have my bird stamped somewhere. Where did he go? There he is. I did cut him out already because you know how I hate to cut things out while I'm on video and you're having to sit there and watch me. So I'm just going to layer this on my red piece. With a nice little even border the whole way around. And next goes my Evening Evergreen piece. I'm using Seal Plus adhesive and it is amazing. It sticks like you would not believe. So you don't need a ton of it. Now we want to place this here, and I made it so that there's just a nice little border of green on either side. And I am going to see if I can't just fill in this in these empty spaces. This is like little splits, so it's nice. It stops so that you're not just doing a whole little, you know, it doesn't give you a string of adhesive when you finish. And because it sticks so well, I don't need a lot on there. All right, now for this piece, I want to add some of our gold thread. And so I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. And I might throw on a couple of glue dots. And I will show you how I created this look. I'm going to just throw a couple glue dots in here because they're going to catch the ribbon and it's just going to go in between so that it doesn't cause bulk on the card. Okay, that might be enough, we'll see. All right, so let me just, you'll probably have a long piece and I just encourage you to cut it in little lengths, like 2 inches long. And I want to show you this. This is really cool. If you don't like a lot of fullness, and this is a little stout, I cut this with my paper scissors, so it sort of tore it. But the cool thing about that is that I can show you that a lot of times when I use this thread, I will just pull this completely out, and that allows this to be just a little more pliable and less weighty, less heavy. I'm going to turn this over so I can see which one I'm on here. So I'm just going to catch that right there. You can put as many of these on here as you want. You want, I might need another glue dot here. I think that you want them to look a little irregular. You don't want them to look like, I don't know, like handles. Like right now with that one, it looks like a little handle, right? I'm going to pop that on there. And maybe this one I'll bring across here, just pressing it into the glue dot. And then maybe this one I'll bring over here. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I think I like that. What do you think? I think this needs to come down just a hair. There we go. All right, now we can peel these off and stick that right on there. There's one other thing that I want to do and I forgot, and that is I'm going to take 2 of these little hollies, and I'm just going to put a dot of glue here and hook them together. And I feel like it's going to be easiest just to tack them down. So I'm going to put some glue there, and then I need to make sure that I have that in place. I think I got my glue up a little high, so let me just put some right here. All right. I'm not pushing it completely down because I'm going to just slide these under here. And they're not sticking good. If you want to do this right, you could do it before you just glue them together and let them sit there until you're ready to stick this together. and then you don't have to be as careful as I am about them not falling apart till you get them in there. Okay, so I'm almost finished. That's extra. I'm going to, since that's drying, I'm going to go ahead, and this is not usually the typical way I do it, but I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive on here. And of course you can see I'm staying away from the edge because I don't want it to show. And voila. And then we're ready for our bird. Now you can color this one if you like. I will show you a colored version as well so that you can see colored versus non-color. But I feel like there's enough going on this card that it doesn't need color. If you really love to color, I encourage you to, by all means, do so. But if you don't, I want you to know that it's okay to not color this bird. So let me show you the card without, or with the color. Okay, so here's one with, here's one without. So you can certainly do whichever you like. All right, we're finished with that card. Next, we are going to do this card. Now this one's a little bit more involved, but I do have a few things finished already so that you don't have to, you can certainly figure that out on your own. I'm going to bring my scrap paper back in here. We're going to do just a little bit of coloring. Like I said, I did do a little bit of the leaves already. So here's my finished ones. I'm going to show you the process and the colors that I used. So I used light granny apple green, and I do recommend only doing one leaf at a time because your color will blend better. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to do all of them, and I'm not going to get as good of a blend, but it's a small area, so I'm not terribly, I'm not going to be terribly upset about that. All right, so I'm going to put granny apple green on everything. I'm going to come in with some, and I don't often mix my colors, but greens for some reason I like to mix them. This is the light, a dark old olive, and you can see where the lines are on the design. That's where I'm putting this green. And I'm just sort of slopping it on because I'm going to spread it in a minute. And I'm quick going to just take a little bit of dark, mossy meadow. And now I'm going to come back with my light green, my light granny apple. And I'm using the heavy tip because I really want to push this color around quickly since it's drying fast. And I'm just going to drag that color. That's what happens to it. You just sort of press it around and move it around. That's what's cool about the alcohol. And because it has dried some, it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of pressure, but you can see how that just blended there. Where you see the lines now, and I'm going to make them disappear. I'm talking about the lines between where the colors started and ended. Okay, so there my green is finished. Hopefully you have enough light. Let me just throw a little more on the subject. All right, so now for my cherry, or for my berries, I'm going to use light cherry cobbler first. And I'm just going around the edge with this and leaving just a dot in the center if it happens. You'll see on some of these I didn't leave a dot, which is not a big deal. Because this is such a tiny area, I'm just taking and adding a little bit. I'm going to turn it this way so I can just do a little half circle around the edge where the lines are, where the darkest part of the berry would be. And that's it. That is all I have to do with that. Okay, so those are finished. Next I want to do the bird, and I didn't do him because I wanted to show you that process that I used, that I think I used. So I'm going to start with my light crumb cake, and I'm going to do some down around his body here, and So I just put a little bit of that there, and then I'm going to use my color lifter because this is the lightest tan. So I'm going to use my color lifter to just bring that color, get rid of the edge there. It's going to take me a second. Lots of things happening around this house, so getting a little noisy. There was only Joel here, and then, yeah, so I didn't close my door. And then Brianna came home and the dog came down. All right, next I'm just going to go ahead and use my dark, oh, this is bronze. This is not the color I wanted, but you know what? It'll work. I wanted soft suede, but we're going to use bronze because that's what's in here. It's really hard to tell. I just looked at the cap and didn't pay attention to what it said. Always read the label, right? Okay, just going to throw that on there. And then I'm going to come in with my darker crumb cake and just blend those colors a little bit. And I'm okay. You can see how that bronze is still a little bit there, but it's mostly gone. And I'm just going to blend it in there, okay? And I might just bring this in here a little bit. Okay, now we're going to pop back to our light crumb cake. We're going to get this all filled in here. And we're going to get rid of these lines. And it takes a little bit of time till you get enough alcohol on there, but you can see how those lines just blended right away. And then I will just finish filling this in. Work on these marker. I'm talking about marker lines when I say lines, guys, just in case you're wondering. I'm obviously not going to take the black lines away. We want them to stay. So I'm working on the lines where my marker left. And that's it. That is really it. There's not much to it. It's very simple. Just choosing a couple of shades and playing with them and seeing how it turns out. I'm going to put just a touch on here. And I'm just going to come in and just blend that a little bit. I only want a little bit of color. So this is your next best friend. I found that is always with me when I'm coloring, even to, to fix a mistake, but also just to lighten something that I want to be a little lighter. Okay, we have all of our pieces done. Let's pull in the rest of it. So my base is crumb cake. Let me go ahead and fold that. Grab my bone folder here. Okay, we do need to die or punch a couple of things. So when I did this card, I copied most of it from a gal. Loved her layout here, but when I got it on my card, I felt like I needed something above and below because my card is regular size and this is like a square. The cherry cobbler is like a square, so I felt like I needed something, and I wanted to do something more with the punch because I love punches and I always want to see what I can get out of them. So I'm just creating a border here. I'm just pulling this in and out so that I can get it right on the line there. And I'm going to do what I did with the gold piece. I'm going to go ahead and punch this the whole way along. Let's see. There we go. Actually, I only want one more of those. So I'm going to scoot it in here to the first one that came out so that it will repunch on one of the sets and punch the other one. Okay. Now this is the edge here that I want to show on the top of my card. All right. So you just see a little bit of that design, and let me go ahead and do it with this one as well. Bring it through and just bring it to the first set. There we go. Okay, let's get rid of all this stuff. Other pieces that you could use if you wanted to, because they're not gold, I'm not going to keep them. Just get rid of those. All right. I also want to show you how I roughened up the edges here. So I did run this through the textile embossing folder. Excuse me. And then I just took my scissors and just carefully, not carefully, but you have to sort of hold on to it because it's the fibers have been broken up because of the embossing folder. And I just brought this along and roughened up the edge. Corners are the hardest to get because they just want to roll over. I sort of just let it do what it wants to do, but then I'm going to come back and I'm going to force it to do a couple of things. I wanted it a little more antique looking, so I just came in and gave a little rip here and there and then just folded it over. So just give a little rip and just fold it over with your fingernail. It's just fun to antique things. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do that. I can't rip it. It's too beautiful to rip. But old can be beautiful too, right? Okay, let's do one more here. All right, so there we have a really cute, let me just see. Okay. Next is our circle. And do I not have a circle? Uh-oh. Yeah. I have a circle. I thought I had a circle. Yikes. Oh well, I might have to just tell you how I did it. So I did the same thing with the circle. As you can see, it's roughed up as well. And then I did cut off the, once I knew where I wanted my circle to be, I just cut off a little, like a 1/4 of an inch, just to make the straight edge so it sits along the edge here. Okay? That's really strange because I thought sure it was right here. Oh, here's one. Here we go. So I just roughened that up as well. The stuff for your kit is here, so I guess I maybe just saw it with that and thought that I had put it on my pile. And you can take your cutter if you want to. I'm just going to use this as my edge, and I'll just flip it over and just use that as my straight edge. Now, since everything else is roughed up, I certainly don't want to leave this smooth, so I'm going to rough that up as well. All right, so there we go. That's ready to go. Now, I put this a little crooked because, you know, it's old and it's crooked. And then I just tucked these under here, just leaving a little bit of design showing. Did the same with this piece, with a little bit of design showing. And these aren't straight either because they're going with the cherry cobbler, and so they're going to stay crooked as well. Or should I say, crooked's not a good word for a card. Angle's a good word, right? Okay, so we can glue that down, and you know what? I'm gonna make it easy. I'm gonna just lift this up. I'm going to just put some green glue under here and pop that down. And I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to do the same thing with this side. Let's throw some in here. And that moved on me just a tad. And we'll put that down and hold that down for a second so that it stays. I'm hoping that that's enough to even hold this brown. This is actually soft suede. Let me just get that straightly crooked. Okay. Get it tucked to the right amount on each side. All right, and while that sits down, I'm going to go ahead and, let's see. You know, I just stuck that down and I wanted to tie this around, but I don't even know if I brought any of that in here to tie. So that's not good. So I'm going to just tie a bow here and stick this on. But let me just tell you what you should do to this piece right here is tie your bow around. And I wrapped it around twice and tied a bow around both pieces. So I had this down. Let me go ahead and stick this down so that you know where to do as I say and not as I do. so that you know where to put it. So you're going to put this on your red piece, take your red piece and tie your twine around, tie it in a bow, and then you can place it down on your card. So don't do what I did. All right, next, everything, well, a few things are going to be popped up. Let's go ahead and get some dimensionals on our bird. And I'm trying to think. You know, I could probably put gold around there and that would still look good since we are using gold. So let me see. Let's see how well this stuck. It's still a little wet, so I think I can do it. All right. It's not the ideal way, guys, but it might work. I didn't get that one long enough. I don't know why I try to do something like this and fix things while I'm on camera, because that's really silly, isn't it? All right, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to snip that right there, and then I'm just going to tie a bow around here, because that's going to make it a whole lot easier. So we'll just tie a bow around this. You know what? This is so firm, and I'm going to come back and do what I showed you earlier, and I'm just going to pull out this piece to give that just a little more flexibility. It's going to be a whole lot easier to tie and hopefully go where I want it to go. And I'm going to tie that right here. Okay, we'll see what the gold looks like. Maybe we'll like that even better than the tan, although I do like how really country this one looks. This one's going to look just a little bit more fancy. Okay, before we do anything else, let me go ahead and get this stamped. Get our, I don't like Happy Christmas, but it is sort of a happy card, so I guess I'll be happy with that. And so let me get this in here. Just going to use my embossing buddy on here. And, oh, I guess I need the stamp. And go ahead and put it on there upside down. See if I can stamp that straight. That doesn't look too bad. And we are going to use white powder on this to get it to stand out. I hope you guys don't mind embossing, because I think that sometimes it's just so effective. So we used it a few times on these cards. And it goes off the edge there just a little because it's a very narrow piece of paper. Let's get that heated. All right, now we can go ahead and get this put together. And I see this is sticking up here, so that means we need a little bit more glue, probably because I lifted it up and it wasn't dry yet. So we'll get a little bit more under there. All right, I'm going to stick the bird down so that we can start layering everything else around him, or her, whichever you want it to be. Actually have a choice in this one. Not that I know how to tell the difference, but okay. And for this one, I just stayed really simple and just snipped at an angle. And then we'll put some more dimensionals. I'm going to put 3 on here. You can do however you want. You can do it flat if you want, but I tell you, dimension is where it's at, guys. It's what really makes it pop. All right, let's figure where our flowers are. I shouldn't say flowers. They're not flowers, but they look pretty like flowers, right? Let's see where they're going to go. And then we can decide where we're going to put this guy that's sticking to my finger. And these, I'm only going to pop up the one because everything else is popped, so I don't feel like it needs a lot more. This one is going to tuck under here. Let's go ahead and just put a little glue on that and tuck him under the bird. Okay, let's get this one laid down. When you're using green glue, you just, if you can see it, it's enough. As my friend Meg Lovin says. If you can see it, it's enough. Alright, so we're going to cover his feet when we stick this on. And I see my bow. One nice thing is because I tied that on there, I can scoot that back and forth. Hey, that worked pretty good, guys. So some mistakes are really room for learning. Now this, do I want it straight? I made this one straight, but because everything else is going crooked, I think I'm going to keep it with the line of the cherry cobbler here. And it's sticking to this holly, which needs to scoot a little bit. So let me just see if I can get him loose, because we didn't hook him in there yet. We want to make sure that he's on the card so that I have him down over top of here, but I'm not sure if I can make that work. So maybe like this. This last one seems to be so important, doesn't it? There we go. That's not terrible if that's out just a little bit. Okay. All right. I think that's good. All right. So the only other thing that you need is you'll add your brushed metallic. These are, we're unable to get them right now, so you're going to get a couple. I would have loved to add a pack of these as part of your swag that you get, but not able to get them. So I will be giving you a couple of these. They might be a couple of the shades of the metallic, but you will have some to add to your card. So I hope that you enjoy that. And the last one is this little gift card, and that's going to be on, I think I'm going to put that on a separate video. So just know that the part you're watching right now is part 1. This will be part 2, and then part 3 will be these cards. I will send you this as well. It may not be called part 3, but anyways, you'll have 3 videos that you can watch, but part 1 and part 2 are definitely part of your kit. So make sure you watch part 1 and part 2. Okay, that's it for now. On the line and punch. And then I'm going to come down, I'm going to turn it over and look at the back so that I'm not running into my previous one and I'm not running off the edge. So I want to just be somewhere in between there. Of course, I'm pushing it completely back to the back of the punch, because you always want to do that, so that my border around here will always be the same. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to keep going around, and I just check to make sure I'm not running off the edge there. And then the same on this side. Again, turning it over, seeing where my previous design is, scooting away, and punching. And then last but not least, this end. And I'm gonna look at the edge, scoot away from the edge, make sure I'm not running over this. In fact, I think I may have run over that one hole because I didn't care about cutting that out. Let me just see how close we are here. I think I may have. Let me try that and see how that looks. Yeah, because so I cut out one of the holes that was from this one. It's inside of that leaf right there. Okay, so then you have all these wonderful little pieces, which when I did the gold, of course, I saved like every piece. So I have all these little pieces. And I even saved, let me pull this out, all these little gold circles. And I put those on my box, and then I put crystal effects on those dots and created my own little embellishments. So that was fun. They're just so pretty, I couldn't throw them away. I have issues with small things. Sorry. Is that a like a small thing? It's not a phobia, it's an obsession. Small thing obsession. Okay, except I don't want a tiny house. I don't think I could live in a tiny house. Okay. So here's the rest of my pieces. I'm using Evening Evergreen and Real Red. And this actually is Sahara Sand. My one on here is Crumb Cake. So I want to just see what this one looks like. I think that it will be okay. And I already had this card that opens this way. So I think that'll be fun to have a new, just a different way to open that. To put this on here, I just went around and grabbed a couple of spots with my green glue. And it's not coming out very good. If you can see it, it's enough, right? Trying to remember that. All right, I just want to make sure that my edges are definitely adhered. And laying that down carefully so I don't have to scoot it. Now I'm going to decide which part I see I ran into that a little bit there. I should have definitely scooted that up a little, but hopefully nobody's going to notice that. I'm not sure if our tag might, our tag's going to cover that. That's awesome. Decide which part I think is the prettiest for the top. And I like how this goes the whole way across there. So I think I'll use that for my top. And I'm just going to tearing my paper there. Then of course the green layer is 4 by 5 1/4. So again, if you're just popping on, the size for that makes it really perfect for cutting this out is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, I lost my trash can. All right, next I'm going to, let me just set that aside. I'm going to stamp the Noel, which I think is just so pretty. And I have my block here. Also, I want to show you, in case you didn't catch my video Monday night, and it's on my my Facebook page, Cindy Fodor Stamper, and it will be on YouTube once I get it fixed, because it's taking forever to do. But I showed how to do this little gift card holder and how to do this little jewelry piece that I turned into a pin for a little embellishment for my gift card holder. So make sure you check that out. Okay, so I'm finished with that. Let me just get rid of that for a sec before I make a mess. And I'm going to pop this up with some dimensionals. That one's in pieces, which I need to put that out of my work desk because I use those up at when I'm designing stuff, not when I'm demoing. I'm trying to hurry so I'm not holding you up. I know that, I don't know about you, but when I watch videos, I'm like, okay, I want to learn, but I don't want to sit here and chat forever. I just want to see the finished product. So, all right, so there's our Noel, and I definitely want to cover that spot there. Okay, and then I just took a couple of these leaves and attached them. I think I have enough glue on there for 2 of them. And I put them this way because I felt like if I hung them off of here, they were going to compete with the holly in the border. And so I didn't want that. I wanted them to really show up nicely. Of course, you know, green glue has to sit for a minute. And then, so what I did next is I took some punched out pieces from a piece of red paper. I just took it in here and just punched some at the edges. And I put those on and then put some crystal effects on them. But I'm going to take less time today, and I'm just going to pick up some of my red rhinestones, and I'm going to put on here as my holly berries. And voila, finished card. It's not real fancy, but I think it's cute enough that I would not mind sending that to somebody, and it's pretty quick and easy. So